Yeah, I wish we would have had that on the recording. Good morning.
Good morning, Deborah LeeAnn.
This is Tuning In, and I am here with Suzanne Joy. And oh my God, we should have some pre and post clips of our stuff before we actually get going here. So good, so good. I'm like, save it, save it, save all your magic for the recording, Suzanne. So we're going to drop in and tune in and feel into what's going on with ourselves and the collective and hopefully there's something here that helps you to feel like you're not lost and you're not uh, what's going on is not out of the ordinary or whatever, because there is nothing that's ordinary anymore. Do you remember the request or the plea to, can we just get back to normal after COVID?
Yeah, exactly, right? There is no normal. And this is such a powerful time. And I went ahead and I pulled a card right before we started. I was like, okay, what is in this now moment? And it's literally all about transformation.
Yeah.
Okay. So transformation, things are happening at the cellular level, you guys, cellular, right? Right down to the granular. So this is deep, 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 deep healing. And so they are, you weren't what you were a year ago, let alone probably 2 hours ago. It's just,
Even 5 minutes before we started recording.
yes. You'll look back at this time with awe and amazement. So much is happening in your inner world and within your cells. So just stop fighting those old ways. You don't need the fight, flight, freeze modes anymore. Okay. And we just
Let them
haven't,
fall. They're going to fall away
right.
on their own if we stop making it a big deal
Yeah.
and
And
stop judging ourselves and like, I should be done with this by now or
right.
what.
We're going to be choosing a different way that's not involved with trauma. It really isn't. We don't have to hold on to it. And
Because
like,
we're moving to a love operating system. And
yes.
as the fear operating system falls away within us, there's a lot of confusion. Like right now, I'm working on a very old MacBook, which is struggling to be here with me, even though the screen is black. And so I have to look to the monitor to see what's really going on, but I'm looking at a black screen. So, I'm just letting you know that things are trying to keep up and some things are just not.
Right.
So, can
So
we be
this is,
with it?
yeah, can we be with all of it? And so this is asking us, we might need to review our relationship with our body and perhaps even shifting our diet or our exercise regime or getting energetic healing support. You
For
may
all of the
also
above?
all of the above, and you may want to also consider some kind of emotional support because we all have childhood issues that crop up, right? And if we aren't able to self soothe or mother ourselves, having that support is really beneficial. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
know that we are being held and cherished and loved and supported all the way through this.
And I also want to add spiritual support. I think there's a couple ways I want to look at that. One of the most interesting thing is that for years, over 10 years, I have worked with the religious community with their leadership teams and leadership development and so forth. And many, and it was women, many of those women have their own spiritual directors, which I find fascinating. I mean, their whole life is about spirituality and religion, and yet they continue to want to grow their relationship with their consciousness, with their selves, with the divine through an additional guide. Many of them also have psychological therapists and
Right.
PT they might be going through. So there's what I find is they have a huge value for that. So we might find that we have a certain friend that we turn to. Suzanne's one of mine that I turn to when I need some, can you help me find my way through this because my consciousness isn't allowing me to see anything else at this time. And and the other way is through I have a group that I do plant medicine with and we call ourselves Anamkara. And I love that because that is like a soul friend where you see into each other's souls And it's a place where we can really deeply explore what's at our growth edge? What do we want to move into? So I just want to let you know, let us all know, remind myself that we are perfectly in the right place right now. And oh, Suzanne and I were just sharing. I found these really cool things cleaning out files, and both of them were from the 90s, which I find fascinating. So 30 years ago, I was already in a place that was pretty awesome, and I had no idea. And now I go back and I read my journals, and I'm like, wow, thanks, future self. So who
Well, it's
knew?
that's when we know that it's not linear. Like all the information is within us.
Yeah,
It's really amazing.
and it comes at the right time when we're really um sometimes when we might need them. And one of these things I had hanging up on my wall for years, and it's just a laminated thing. And I'll post the link to it below, but it's about 9 intentions for a better world. And it's
Hmm.
so gorgeous. And it's from, I think they started in the mid 90s. But, like support life, it's just support, simplicity. It's just amazing. So where I want to go at this week, we're also in the pulse of truth, which even doubt is truth. Even fear is truth. I'm quoting Richard Rudd on that. And this is, how do we give ourselves the grace and the space to be in this messiness and not be like, when am I going to be done with this? And a
Yeah.
little impatient over here. Um, and and remembering that all of that is perfect. All of it is truth. I thought it had to be like that kind of truth, but
Mm-mm.
all of them.
I I was really tuning into my IQ, which is all about totality
Mm,
yesterday. And it's, totality of our human experience. So the messy human as well as understanding our multidimensional being as a divine essence. So we are getting to play in this land of emotion and design and know that everything is perfect just as it is. It looks like freaking chaos and know that it's reorganizing in its own way. We don't have to understand it. We can feel all of it. And how can we be and embrace compassion while we're moving through the muck?
right. And it's kind of like, and Suzanne, you do this, I know, when you're not feeling well and there's, germ cells or some kind of virus moving through us, we talk to ourselves that are healthy and say, I know you're in there. And I know that you're up against the other guys. And I know the virus cells are in there. And I'm just asking that you do your thing. I trust you, and it's it's so interesting to me how if we just sit back and allow things to be, they already, what did you say the other day, Suzanne, about divinely designed, how things kind of reorganize
Yeah,
themselves, right?
exactly.
So,
I mean, nature is such an amazing orchestrated. It is. It's divine design. And we don't have to work at it. Do you know that's the thing that really boggles my mind is that we are always like, yeah, we're in the work. What it is being so intentional and so observant of our own stuff. That is what makes it easy. But
or coming back to that um, still point, that center within us that is all truth, that is all beauty and peace and totality, I'll use your word,
Mhm.
and truth. It's like the center for all the citic states, right? And when we go there, then we can look from that place. It's like we can see everything with such clarity and love. And I don't know why. I mean, I know this and I know how to do it, But when I'm in the middle of it, how I forget to step back and in and down.
I think it's part of our human nature. And what I was realizing this past week, that's the fight, flight, freeze stuff.
Mm,
And it's our antenna, right? And so we're refining, retuning, tuning up our intuitive abilities. And what would usually be an alarm or a trigger, we might react to immediately, right? Kind of like the deer, and like they feel something and then they bolt. What we get to do now is the sensor goes off, we feel it, and then we go, okay, what is this really telling me? And we can then discern, it's really about discernment, what we want to do and pivot from that point. It's
yeah,
very different energy rather than a reactionary emotional center, like, mm,
which
it's
is which is still we're unwinding, right? And so
right.
that neural pathway that we have been operating with for decades, I'm not going to say how many your decades are, mine are 66 decades. Um, if we think about we're rewiring, I mean, it takes a while to go, oh, now we're not going to go directly to this. Ugh. We're going to go to over here. Hmm. And that's the beauty of like inquiry, like
Right.
stopping and going, wait, is
It's
there another way to do this?
it's that curiosity.
Yeah,
And I think there for so many years when something has happened to us, we're like, "Oh, we know what's going to happen now." Like it's like that assumption that life is going to be the same, right? But we're ever changing. So, can we give life a little bit more room and a little bit more space to be like curious about, ooh, what might transpire if I change my purview or my viewpoint and my perspective. And as I shift, I'm giving space for other people to shift.
yeah,
And so the more we are able to do that in that space, the more flexibility and the more expansion we will experience.
yeah. And and in the meantime, if there's any message that I want to convey in our conversation today, it is about the patience and the grace and the gentleness and the inquiry. I mean, the four pillars
Pillars.
of the Gene Keys work, which I actually have on my website for my work, are about that, about this. We are never going to be complete.
Right.
And this is a journey. And if I keep telling myself, oh, this is my sacred path, I am I am expanding and becoming and learning and growing, and I'm not the same person I was yesterday. And so uh, can I allow myself new eyes to see things? Um, we used to do this example. It's kind of a vagus nerve reset too. But when you actually expand your vision way, way over to the sides where your peripheral is seeing so much more than we walked around like this for so long, seeing only what was right in front of us. There's all this and above and below and within to look at. So many places.
Yeah. And I really have tuned into this being an explorer
Mm,
energy archetype, and that we don't know what we don't know.
yeah.
And if we can stay in that curiosity, it's much more playful than thinking like, I know what's going to happen. We have no idea. We are in the unknown, and I think we're specifically in the unknown. And all I get is a blank page. Every time I try to see, it's a blank page. And so I'm
Which
like,
is which
okay, I get to
which is
just
why, yep,
I just
going
get to
in.
experience it. I get
Yeah.
to experience it like a child all over again.
And I love the example that I learned. I can't remember which teacher, but that when you're looking at something, when you're trying to figure something out, or what's my next step here, or whatever, take your awareness back to the center of your brain, back, way back at the back of your head. When you are the captain of your own ship, you're not at the front of the boat. You're all the way at the back. And in the back and in the center means that you're looking at things from both your logical and your creative side. So it opens up both hemispheres of the brain. It is a beautiful exercise, especially now as we're tapping into so much more awareness that it's like, whoa, I'm seeing things so differently from back there
Yeah.
versus these, you
Yeah.
know.
Your eyeballs.
Mhm.
Um, Deborah, do you want to, before we close, share the mudra for this week that might be beneficial for folks?
I love this. And I know for those of our friends that are listening without video, you don't get to see this. So I will try to explain it with the best of my knowledge. So you clasp your fingers together as if you're making, I don't know, prayer hands or whatever. And you take your pinky fingers and they connect straight up. And your index fingers are straight up. So it looks kind of like this. And your thumbs are straight so that it looks like that. So your thumbs are straight up, your index fingers, and your pinky fingers. And this is the mudra for truth. And one of the things that Richard said when he was teaching this is that truth is at the center of each of the cells within our body. It's not something we go out and look for, it's right here. So, mm, beautiful place to close. And we'll post the card that Suzanne had on transformation. And may you remember that you're just perfect right now where you are.
Much love. Till next time.